What's going on, guys? Beatbox Blade here, and today I'm bringing you Beatbox Blade Slashing in here, and today I'm bringing you a video on what if Kakashi was successful in applying his lightning nature to the Rasengan. With that being said, let's get started. Now, number one is that the fourth would master it as well. It's because Kakashi would know how to do it, applying his nature to the Rasengan, all of that. He would pick up on how to do it, and of course, he would tell the tips or whatever to his master, who did the Rasengan in the first place, created the Rasengan in the first place. So obviously, he would tell the fourth what to do. Next is that Chidori would never be born. It's because Kakashi applied his lightning nature, or he created Chidori, is because he couldn't apply his lightning nature to the Rasengan. And if he was able to apply his lightning nature to the Rasengan, thus there wouldn't be a need for Chidori. Next is that Obito wouldn't die. And I say that is because the Rasengan, or the Rasen Shuriken, it's a little different because, wind nature and lightning nature are two different things, but they would both be compiled of the same thing, thus they would have the same strength level. So with Kakashi having this super powerful jutsu and him being like an elite ninja as well as an Anbu, he'd be able to stop. He could probably just pull it out and scare these guys and they'd run away or something. Thus Obito wouldn't die. And with that being said, Kakashi wouldn't get the Sharingan. It's because Obito didn't have to die, thus he wouldn't get it from him. I made a video on what would happen if Obito didn't get crushed, so go back and watch that if you wish. Next is that Jiraiya would complete the jutsu as well, is because he knows it, the fourth knows it, and Kakashi knows it. They all know the Rasengan, thus why wouldn't the fourth teach his master the Rasengan? It's really cool to think of the teacher. The teacher is the one who teaches the student, sure, but at those little times when the student teaches the master is pretty cool. Thus Jiraiya would learn it. And with all that being said, Naruto wouldn't be a Jinchuriki. And I say that is because, remember in the fight between Naruto and Kurama? I keep looking down. In the fight between Naruto and Kurama, Naruto threw one Rasen Shuriken at Kurama, and it did a whole bunch of damage to him. So if we had Kakashi, Minato, and Jiraiya all armed with their own style of Rasen Shuriken hitting Kurama, he wouldn't be able to do anything. They'd either kill him or drive him out. And so yeah, Naruto wouldn't have to have the Nine-Tails sealed in him. And next is that Minato and Kushina would be alive for Naruto. And I say that is because Kurama didn't kill them. There's not really much left to say about that. Kurama didn't kill them because they were super strong and drove him out. Next is that the fourth would stay Hokage, is because he wouldn't have died, thus there wouldn't have been a need for him to pass the title on to the third Hokage. Which I don't understand how the fourth and the third were in the same spot. I think it might have been because Tobirama, the second Hokage, died when Hiruzen was a kid. Thus he promised the title of third Hokage to him. It's because he was his underling. Thus, with him being young, once Tobirama died, they needed somebody to take over the village. Thus, they dubbed the fourth Hokage the fourth Hokage. That's my little theory. Next is that Orochimaru would die to Minato, because at this point, Orochimaru is still around in the village. I think he's just conducting his research. Around that area, he was just conducting his research. So there was a scene where Hiruzen, which is the third Hokage, and two of these other people discovered Orochimaru starting his research and all that. So Hiruzen couldn't kill him is because, you know, I was your master and you were my student. You hold a special place in my heart. But nope, Minato would be there instead is because Minato's the Hokage, thus this would take precedent over everything else, except for the safety of the people. But I suppose this it does concern the safety of the people, because like 30-something people died. Thus, Minato would discover Orochimaru, and Orochimaru's skill does not compare to Minato's. Minato, with this Rasen Shuriken and his jutsu with his daggers and all that, the flying Raijin, you can't escape him. I mean, if he touches you once, you're done. Yeah. Next is that Naruto would learn the Rasengan. He'd learn the regular Rasengan. Is because Naruto is still a young child. Kakashi was a young child, sure, but he had the potential is because he was an Anbu, thus his dad was the White Fang of the Leaf, who was like a skilled mercenary and all that. So Kakashi had the potential. But Naruto was still a kid and didn't properly know how to use his chakra. Next is that Team 7 would consist of Sasuke, Sakura, and Shikamaru. With Naruto having parents, and with him actually having friends, he wouldn't need to be clumsy and all that crazy jazz in school. A stupid shirt. Because he only did that for attention, so people would notice him. Because people neglected him because he had the Nine Tails. But if he didn't have the Nine Tails, he wouldn't feel the need to do that, thus he would do better in school, and Sasuke, Sakura, and Naruto's team, Team 7, wouldn't exist. I say Shikamaru is because they matched it up with the highest scores, the medium scores, and the lowest scores. And Shikamaru's scores was closest to Naruto's because, you know, what a drag and everything. And Sasuke's was the highest is because he's an Uchiha, super smart, and Sakura was just average. Next is this is really only just a small speculation, but Naruto's team would be Choji, Naruto, Hinata, and Asuma. It's because Choji's scores weren't too good as well. His scores weren't really next to Naruto and Shikamaru's, but they were around there. Thus, Naruto being probably like an average student, maybe like super smart. It would be Choji with his lowest scores, Naruto with his regular scores, and Hinata with her higher scores because, you know, it's kind of a family thing. You kind of have to. And I say their team leader would be Asuma is because Asuma is probably the most fit, besides Kakashi, to handle a Hyuga, the son of the fourth, and just Choji. Next is really, I think it would happen, but I don't know. You can judge this for however if you want, but I think Naruto and Hinata would be a thing. An item. Not like Mario Kart item. They'd be going out. I say that is because Naruto wasn't really taught all this stuff. It's because, you know, his parents were dead, and the only people who really liked him were Iruka and the third Hokage, and eventually his friends and all that. But now he'd be normal. Now he'd have parents to talk with him about all this stuff, and obviously Hinata would fall in love with him just because Naruto knows the value of hard work, and his motives are on point. So I think Naruto being well versed in all this, probably from Kushina, and Hinata liking him, I think Naruto and Hinata would be a thing. Because Naruto said once, you know, he said this to Hinata, you know, I always thought of you as shy, clumsy, weird, and overall just a strange person. And then later on, like 10 seconds later, he said, you know, it made me realize that I like people like you. That was kind of the start. I'm not sure if Naruto meant that intentionally and like the original Naruto, but I think Naruto and Hinata would be a thing. Next is that Naruto would be treated very similar to Boruto. And I say that is because I'm not sure how many of you have actually seen the newest Boruto episodes, specifically episode 2. No spoilers, but the line was said a lot that Boruto was riding on his father's coattails, the Hokage, because Naruto was super strong and everybody liked Boruto is because he was the son of the Hokage. So I think Naruto would be treated very similar, is because he isn't really overall strong by himself. He wouldn't know the Shadow Clone jutsus because he didn't get in trouble with all that. So he's not overall strong by himself. Sure, he'd know the Rasengan, but that's really all Naruto has packing for him. He didn't have really good chakra control either. Thus, he'd be very similar to how Boruto was treated. Episode 2. I can't link that because I'm sure all of them were taken down on YouTube. But you can find online Boruto Episode 2. Next is that Naruto would be stronger than Sasuke. I say that is because, yes, Sasuke was always hiding in his brother's shadow like Luigi to Mario. And for a time, I know how Sasuke felt. But Sasuke, everyone in his family was really busy, and he wasn't an overachiever like like Itachi was. Thus, he wouldn't have too much time to learn ninjutsu. Everything he learned that you see him do, he really just learned on his own, like the fire style and the demon wind shuriken and all that. So I say this because Naruto has more outlets, like Jiraiya, Kushina, Minato, the Third, all of that is within Naruto's grasp. All that is not within Sasuke's grasp. Thus, Naruto would be stronger. Sure, they'd still have the whole Indra and Ashura thing going on, but yeah. Next is that the Sand Sound Raid wouldn't happen. It's because Orochimaru is dead. And Orochimaru was really the whole basis of that attack, is for him to take out the Kazekage or him to take out the Hokage. I mean, he did kill the Kazekage, Gaara's dad, but for him to take out the Hokage, and then the sand and sound would invade the village and all that. If Orochimaru wasn't there, it wouldn't happen. Next is that the Third wouldn't die. It's because, well, 1, he's not Hokage. 2, the sand sound raid didn't happen. Next is, I had to think really hard about this one, is that Gaara wouldn't learn the value of love and friendship. That's really cheesy to say, but during the fight between Naruto and Gaara, like shortly after the Sand Sound Raid began, once Naruto beat Gaara, and Gaara was like, How are you so relentless and all this? And he said, it's because I'm fighting for my friends or whatever, because he was like crawling on his chin to get to Gaara. It's because Sakura was being held up against the wall, and he was like, Sakura, I'll save you. And that's what was fueling Naruto the whole time, as well as, not wanting Sasuke to die, is because he wasn't very strong in the situation. Next is that Sasuke wouldn't leave. It's because Orochimaru is dead, Itachi is just out there doing his own thing, because the Akatsuki aren't there. Because of Obito. I already made a video on this. Go watch it. What if Obito never got crushed? Yeah, Sasuke wouldn't leave. These next 5 points are going to go quick. I don't think I'm going to have pictures for these ones. So listen carefully. You ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Season 1? Nope. Season 2? Nope. Season 3? Nope. Season 4? Nope. Season 5? Filler? Nope. And I say all that it's because Akatsuki are gone, Sasuke's in the village, Orochimaru's dead, there's not really a threat. Which is what the first 5 were about. Next is that Nagato would still fight the Leaf. It's because Nagato is an Uzumaki. I don't know how many people know that, but Nagato is an Uzumaki. and his parents were killed by these leaf ninja. It's because they thought they were spies of like this hidden village or whatever. And once they killed Nagato's parents, they were like, "Oh wait, this is leaf people," and they're like, "Oh, we're sorry." And then his Rasengan does all that, and he kills those two and all that. But yeah. Next is that the paths of pain would simply aim to destroy the leaf. Because before they had a purpose for going there, which is to get the Nine Tails, but with the Akatsuki not being a thing, they'd simply go to the leaf to destroy it. They would destroy a lot of stuff in the process. They would kill a lot of stuff in the process. Next is that pain would still kill Jiraiya. Naruto knew with Jiraiya, I said this earlier, Jiraiya knows the Rasen whatever he would call it. But Naruto knew it and knew Sage Mode and still wasn't a match. Well, he was about evenly matched for pain. Thus, Jiraiya, being weaker than Naruto at that point, would lose to pain. Next is that the Pains would eventually be killed, but Konan and Nagato would still live on. And I say this because the only reason Nagato and Konan were found out, like where they actually were, is because Naruto had his Nine Tails mode activated, and he took one of the chakra receptors out of Pain, stuck it in himself, and was able to sense where the chakra was coming from. Thus, with him not having his Nine Tails cloak, he couldn't do that. So Konan and Nagato would still just be out there doing their thing. And Jiraiya wouldn't come back. I suppose I can add this. Nagato wouldn't be turned to the good side. It's because as YouTuber Swag Kage, who does a bunch of Naruto explained videos, I'll link him in the description, said there was something called the Talk No Jutsu, where Naruto can find the exact words to say to a villain to make them good. He said that to Haku, he said it to Zabuza a little bit, and he did it with Nagato, and he did it with Obito. And they were all, at the time, super strong. So, Naruto, with him not having all the experience he did as being shunned as an outsider for having the Nine Tails and all that, that wouldn't happen. He wouldn't have all the experience to be able to talk and say the right words to Nagato to turn him good. Alright, next is that the Kage Summit wouldn't happen. It's because all the main threats are eliminated. Akatsuki, Orochimaru, and the rest of them aren't there. Next is that Season 12 wouldn't happen. Season 12 is based around Naruto and Killer Bee training Naruto to learn all that about the Nine Tails and so on. That was my theory. This has been Beatbox Blade. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, do all that crazy jazz, and I will see you next Thursday. Peace.